Hey guys, so we're back finally with more podcasts. Philip's been after me for probably the better part of the year to get back into podcasting. And then in the fall, Mariah had mentioned she wanted to do a podcast. I'm like, you know what? We actually did do a podcast that we were supposed to keep up with, but on my end, I kind of fell short on that. So I guess Mariah's a new face, so we'll have her introduce herself and how she met me and got involved with LargeCar Mag. So
Keystone LargeCar Mag Nationals was pretty much how, Steve and I got connected, I guess. Obviously, LargeCar Mag has been around the PA area for a very, very long time. Something you always paid attention to, especially being in the heavy-duty industry. I run a service shop for FleetPride, hence the FleetPride logo there. I run out of Carlisle, Pennsylvania. We have a pretty large outfit there. We do a lot of mobile service, heavy duty, everything, 16 bays, a lot. So with Keystone LargeCar Mag, I wanted to get in and sponsor and get our name out there that we're not just a service shop that does PMs and parts and stuff like that we do offer a lot of variety, which is where I had met Randy, Kaler, and Steve here as well with the show. I kind of got deeply involved this year helping Randy out and Steve too. Steve, you were more so outside every time I was inside, so
yeah,
there's a lot of people there. So it just really snowballed from there. It was awesome. I loved every bit of it. There was around like 355 pieces of registered equipment at that show, and it put it all into a big perspective of wanting to do more. So I threw an idea out around the time that Steve actually had his accident there, to Josh, and I was like, well, I don't know. I don't want to put it in his ear now, going through what he was going through, obviously,
Sure.
With the podcast. And yeah, it just kind of snowballed and went uphill from there.
So everybody that's watched our podcast before pretty much has an idea of who I am. Philip, you can go ahead and introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself real quick.
Sure. Okay, I'll give you guys the 30-second quick version of who I am. So I have a couple of different hats that I wear. My day job, I'm a mechanic. I'm an ASE Master Tech at an automotive shop. I've been doing that for 26 years and went to school for that. And how I'm associated with trucking is I actually quit being a mechanic and went trucking full-time for 5 years. I had been trucking part-time leading up to that, so I actually was a trucker for 12 years altogether. Just kind of started helping on the farm, and then that turned into driving one night a week and driving weekends, just helping out a local propane company, and I loved it because I was having so much fun being behind the wheel of a semi-truck, and I could make money trucking, doing something that I loved because I used to race cars, and I was having to pay money to go racing, and I was enjoying trucking so much, and I could make money trucking. So I made the switch from racing into trucking and then went trucking full time. So now I'm back working in the shop full time, and I can still feed my enjoyment and my love of trucking by being involved with LargeCar and having a lot of friendships and connections and a YouTube channel that keeps me busy with trucking content quite a bit. So that's the quick snapshot of who I am, but I also have a bunch of other hobbies, things like pinstriping and just creating art, creating content and things like that keep me busy. And so, yeah. Plus, I'm a dad, I'm a drummer, just all kinds of other stuff like that keeps me busy in personal life stuff. But yeah, so that's my connection with LargeCar. I've been writing for you, Steve, now for, I think, has it been 4 years that I've been with LargeCar? Does that sound about right?
I think so. Yeah, that's about right.
Something like that. I should have a better handle on exactly how long I've been with you. But you reached out to me on social media and said, hey, I like what you're doing, and would you be interested in writing some articles once in a while? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So it's a blast. I love it. And it scratches the itch that I have to stay involved with trucking. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I really enjoyed your video. When did you put that up? A week or two ago, where you pinstriped the truck, put pinstripe roses into the fenders, and
Oh yeah.
that was
Yep.
that was a cool video. There's a lot of artists that don't want people to watch them perform their art, but I think it's
Sure.
cool that you do and you put it out there.
Thanks. I tell people all the time, just because you have a large online following and a lot of people watching you doesn't necessarily mean that you're a good artist. And so you get to see all my mistakes and my flaws, and you get to watch me wipe it off. And there's many, many, many artists out there, particularly pinstripe artists and guys that do lettering and sign painting, that are much more experienced and have more skill and more talent than I do. But I'm learning, and I'm trying to reach a level of mastery that I haven't got there yet, but you guys can watch my process as I do it. And I try really hard not to make my videos a how-to video. I try not to make it too boring. And so it's a lot of time lapses. It's a lot of just set the camera up and then I just do my thing. And sometimes through the magic of edit, there's stuff that you won't see. And that's okay too. That's just part of how it goes, because you wouldn't want to sit there and watch, I think it was about 17 hours altogether that I spent on that truck, start to finish.
Wow.
So you got to speed some stuff up. You got to,
Yeah.
you got to cut some things. But there's also stripers out there that are a lot faster than I am. Because I'm still a student of it, I can't pull lines nearly as fast as some guys do. They can do, 1, 2, 3 trucks in a day, I've heard. But that particular truck that you're talking about with the roses on it took me 2 days. So,
Okay.
yeah. But thank you. Thanks for watching.
That's definitely one thing I
Absolutely.
told Steve the other weekend was like, if there's one thing I could pick from Phil's mind, it would be the pinstriping thing, because I would like to just be one of those hobbyists to do it too, like to do cups, or not even just get into obviously trucks, because obviously that would be amazing, but I don't even have the time to breathe, let alone learn how to pinstripe. So
Yeah, I understand. You should definitely try it, though. Even if you have to wait a little while until you have a little bit more time freed up to do it. Yeah. More people can do it than think they can. There's a lot of people that say, I don't have a steady hand, or I'm too shaky. There's no way I can't draw a straight line. Well, truth is, because of the way that those brushes are designed with the long bristles on them, it takes the shake right out of it. As soon as your hand rests on that fender, whatever you're pulling a line on, everything straightens out and it just follows. And it's really mesmerizing. Even while you're doing it, you almost kind of get into a trance, and it's really addicting. It's a lot of fun. So I try and encourage people to just try it. Just try it.
It is.
Well, thanks.
Watching you do it is addicting.
It's really
Thank you.
cool to watch. It
Yeah.
Thank you.
definitely is. So,
I appreciate it. Well, I'll make more. I'll make more.
yeah, and we'll do it in Louisville again, and the booth, I'm sure.
You got it. You got it. And Mariah, we'll put a brush in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should probably practice
Right on.
beforehand so I don't make a
Yeah.
fool of myself. Yeah.
Totally. And that's the key, is practice, practice, practice.
Just we'll start placing bets now. Okay, we'll do bets now for Matt on if Mariah can actually do this or not.
You got it.
Cash
Cool.
bets. All proceeds go somewhere.
Cool. You got it.
You and Mariah, Philip and Mariah, both went to the Stars, Stripes, and White Lines truck show in Atlanta. I could not make it for a couple reasons, but I guess what are your thoughts on the show and how it went, and just your perspective on the show itself? I wish I could have gone, mainly for the photography. I would have had a blast shooting the trucks going around the track. But what are your thoughts on the show and your experience?
I don't know. Everyone was very friendly, if that makes any sort of sense. Like, I didn't know much going down there. I just knew 2 days prior to, I'm like, hey, I got the time. I'm booking a flight. I just went. It was kind of, it wasn't, it was very, very spur of the moment, but I had a blast. Everyone was super friendly. Like, I just had random people walk up to me as I was taking pictures by myself, just standing there. Oh, hey, who are you? Just asking me my name. It was so funny. And I was like, oh, I'm Mariah. Oh, so like, The Skillix guys was one of them. I was talking to Dominguez, Dane Nelson. There was just a lot of people there that were beyond friendly. It was awesome. It was so cool to see and go around the track with Justin Blankenship. I was in with him, sitting down. A couple of people there from the show themselves. One of those was Lauren. Just experiencing all of that and seeing the big dogs. You know what I mean? The Can't Stop truck. Robert Bassey's truck is awesome. I mean, talking to Cody and them, seeing and meeting Kendall Dickerson, you know.
So you were actually a judge at Stars, Stripes, and White Lines.
I was.
There.
Yeah.
How did that go? And was that your first time ever being a judge?
It was. Yeah. So there was actually a lot of things new for me. It was the first time for me to be at that show. This was the second year for Stars, Stripes, and White Lines at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and it was my first time being a judge at a judged event like that. And so, yeah, really, really awesome experience. I mean, it's just incredible. And so I would say I really like that different shows and different events around the country tend to have different things that make them unique and separate from everybody else. I'll say one example is like the Casson Truck Show, the Big Iron Classic. It's my favorite not just because it's close by me, but it has the truck pull. It's something that not many other truck shows do, having that pull, and it makes it different, and it makes it unique. Yeah. And this is the first time I had seen a truck show or an event like that being at a NASCAR track. And so when I started seeing videos from last year's event of the semis being out on the track, it was blowing my mind. Like some of those videos, I think one of them, a TikTok video of Don Wood last year on the track, got like 8 million views on TikTok.
Yeah,
and
no,
it incredible.
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive. And for good reason, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Nobody had seen anything like that before. And so I could not wait to get down there and find out what is this all about. You know, I gotta see this in person. And the event coordinator, Evan Steger, he and his crew, his team, do an absolutely fantastic job of putting on a show. And I'll probably keep praising Evan, but you know, the guy is just nonstop go, go, go. I talked to him a few times, and he's hard to stop and slow down because he's on a golf cart and going 3 different directions. He's got 2 cell phones and a walkie-talkie, and he's got people following him around everywhere, and he's constantly making decisions and choices and telling people to go here and go there, and yet he's solving all kinds of problems. You know, it was a big event like that with a lot of moving pieces, a lot of people to talk to, and then he's trying to deal with auctions. He's trying to deal with parking trucks. He's trying to deal with
the golf ball drop.
The golf ball drop, exactly.
Golf ball drop.
Yeah, and then you got a track coordinator gal that was, you know, deciding who's getting on the truck, who's getting on the track. And you have semi-trucks, you have Jeeps, motorcycles. There's a lot of moving pieces at an event like this. And so I wouldn't be shocked if next year maybe Evan can hand off some of that to someone else that could take some of that off of him, just free him up a little bit more, maybe focus on just the trucks. I'm not going to tell him what to do, but it was just a lot for one guy to handle on his own. But the team of people that run the track and the Bennett family of companies was incredible. They treated us like royalty. We were kings when we were down there, and it was so much fun to be around people that love their jobs and love what they're doing, and the staff at the track was so friendly. And Mariah, like you said, there's just everybody was in a good mood. Everybody's happy. Yeah. Everybody's cheerful. They're grateful to be there. And the competitors, everybody was was gentlemanly and ladylike, and I didn't meet one person that was in a bad mood, and nobody was having a bad time. The weather was rainy. That was about the only bummer of any of it. Was
not for
was
very
just,
long though either.
Not for long, and it was really only at night. Yeah. So, I can't say enough good things about this event. Evan told me that this year was 6 times larger than last year, and so it blew up that much, not just in attendance, but also in the competitors and just everything. So when you have a show that grows in a magnitude of 6 times bigger, they're anticipating next year for 2026 that Star Stripes and Wet Lines will probably be on the front side of the track as well, as they'll still be running everybody on the track, but instead of the wash and park and things like that being on the back side of the track, they'll be up front. And so they're anticipating bigger crowds and a need for more parking. So that's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
how many years have they been doing that one?
Only 2. That's it.
They say that your 3rd year hosting an event is always the big year that you see like the biggest outcome. That's whenever you really see the boom go up.
Right on. Awesome. I hope so.
I can tell you from doing shows that the first year you typically get a lot of people that will come in there. They'll come in their cars and just check it out and see if it's worth bringing their truck to. And the second year, you'll get more trucks, which in turn gives you, with the power of social media and print magazines too, once the pictures get out there and people see the trucks are there, then the 3rd year, Mariah's right, it typically blows up if you're doing things right.
Yeah, you bet. There was a little bit of confusion that some folks had, thinking that this event was by invitation only. And so we tried our best to hit social media real hard in the month leading up to the show to let everybody know, hey, this is an event that anybody can bring their truck to. We have a wash and park, and you can just show up and be there, and you can get your truck on the track if you'd like to. And so the invitation part is for the guys that are competing for the national championship, and that's the part that is judged. That is invitation only, and you have to get your passport stamped at the events that lead up to that, and that's got its own rules around it. But yeah, so that's part of what we were trying to do on social media, is let everybody know, hey, get down here, find a load to Atlanta, and spend the weekend with us and just hang out and enjoy an incredible event. Doesn't matter what you drive. It's not invitation only. Just get there. So yeah.
I was telling Steve about Braden Carver showed up there like the second day. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. So, drop your trailer right now so I can take pictures and a video.
Yeah.
And then I did ask Cody coming in with those double pups. I said, did you pucker yourself going through the tunnel with those double pup trailers? He said, mm-hmm. He's like, I had a spotter at both ends. And I said, I don't doubt it.
Yeah. Yep. That's definitely a unique experience to see those trucks go down and then back up on the other side and going through the tunnel. Yeah, really neat. There's things like that until you're there and you're seeing it and experiencing it, I would have never thought about that, but there's some really neat things and some cool shots that you can get and some really neat video that can only happen at a NASCAR track. And so I love that this event has something unique about it.
I really liked the one vendor too, Rowan. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Josh Rowan. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was awesome. Just to sit there and like stand for a couple minutes and watch him draw the trucks.
Yep.
That was awesome. That was so cool.
He's such a talented guy and so friendly, so nice. I think his son was traveling with him. And
Yes,
he had his Suburban there, which is cool too. And I love variety like that, like so many things to see and visit and enjoy. Speaking of vendors, there was a coffee truck there. Like I think they were local, but I love seeing vendors that are taking chances like that. I've never been to any other event where coffee was available at the show, and I loved that. So that was great. That was a good one for me. But yeah.
Well, we did our toy drive here in Pennsylvania last weekend, and that was the main vendor I wanted. I wanted a coffee vendor there.
Nice.
You gotta have coffee for people.
You bet. Absolutely.
Especially whenever it's cold.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
That too. Yeah. So to be asked to be a judge at that event was a huge honor. And I tried to take it really, really seriously. I purposely was trying to avoid showing any favoritism at all. So I didn't take any photos or videos of any of the guys that were in my class that I was going to be judging. So I was in the working class combo. That was the group of us. There was 3 judges in that class. There was also the working class bobtail class. Those had 3 judges. And then when it goes to the limited mileage trucks, there was 5 judges for the bobtails and 5 judges for the combos. And those guys had an even more difficult job than we did being judges, because the caliber of trucks was just off the charts. It was really, really incredible. So that was a fun
I
opportunity.
have some questions since you were the judge then too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
what all you hear down there compared to what you do? Like, there was words of like not you, but judges, like you would take your fingers through the brake drums to dirt and to test for dust, you know what I mean, to white glove it to see exactly like if they were clean to the T.
Sure.
Wheels chalked. Is that all?
Correct.
Everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was some of the things that were a little bit different between the working class and the limited mileage guys. Obviously, the trucks that hardly have any actual working miles on them at all, there's an expectation for them to be an even higher caliber. And the working class trucks, they have to be out there earning a living and they actually had to prove the mileage that they're running, so they couldn't show up and actually be a brand new truck with almost no miles on them. They were actually pulling up the IFTA
Stickers
on them and making sure, they were double checking ECUs and stuff like that, just to confirm, like, this truck actually has the miles on it.
Make sure you have to register
Yeah.
next year.
Yep. So there's there's a pretty high expectation of the teams, the competitors, to follow all the rules. And I think in just about any competition, you're going to get people that are going to push the boundaries and see how far they can go before things get a little bit sideways. They're going to test the limits a little bit. I would say 95% of all the competitors were very, very good sports and would actually help one another out when it came to detailing and prepping and stuff like that. And I love to see that. They're really just competing for a trophy and for bragging rights. I mean, there's some money involved there as far as prize money, but it's not enough to pay for much more than maybe your fuel in your hotel while you're there and a little bit of your supplies. So it's opportunities for sponsorships and things like that in the future, but the majority of it is just for pride that you're competing. But I would say when it comes time for the guys to limit their amount of time for detailing and prepping, when midnight comes around and everybody says, okay, rags down, everybody was really good about making sure that nobody was cheating and things like that. And the one real big equalizer is the weather, because it did rain. And so the next morning, everybody was dealing with having to wipe down again, and everybody's dealing with bugs. There's still bugs that time of year. And it sounds like they were being attracted to the tire shine and bright colors. And so some of the teams were having to deal with things like that are restricted. So I don't know. I guess I answered your question in a roundabout way, but brake drums, I didn't see anybody actually stick their finger inside a brake drum, but we were told we could put one knee on the ground as a judge, and then wherever you can reach your arm in, you are allowed to run your hand up inside frame rails or cross members or on drive shafts. And in the working class, I mean, we had meetings that lasted, a couple hours, where Evan is giving us very, very detailed instructions on what he expects, what the competitors should expect from the judges. And so we were all very clear on what to be looking for. And then it helps a lot because some of the judges had already been doing this before. Like they had some experience from previous years or other shows. So that helped me a lot to kind of watch and learn what they're doing and then kind of bounce ideas off them. We could talk amongst each other as judges, and we could kind of put our heads together a little bit. One of the things that I wasn't really expecting until we jumped into it, and Evan told us this is part of how this is going to go, but every single driver in every single class was expected to give I believe it was a 10-minute presentation at taking the judges around the truck and explaining everything about the truck that made it different, unique, customized, etc. And they were mostly memorized. There was a couple guys that just, maybe had some bullet points that they had memorized and they just kind of would wing it. But almost everybody had memorized their entire thing for about 10 minutes and could take the judges around. And if something was, custom made stainless or this was polished, even though it didn't have to be, they could earn some bonus points. And you asked about having tires clocked, meaning that you would have the valve stem either at 12 o'clock or 6 o'clock and then have the letters of the tires lined up. Even if they're not painted white letters or anything like that, the lettering of your tire needs to be in the proper spot in compared to your valve stem, and then they all need to match all the way around the truck. And if a competitor didn't do that in the working class, it didn't necessarily count against them, but if they did have their tires clocked, they would get bonus points, things like that. As far as polishing goes, there was separate categories for each one of the things. So paint would have its own category, interior has its own category, engine has its own category, et cetera, et cetera. And so it made keeping track of points as a judge a lot easier because the idea was everybody starts at a 10, and then if we found things, you wouldn't really call it a violation, but you would find things like, okay, yeah, that's still dirty. We're going to take a point off for that. Or, he's got his hose clamps are on crooked, or, just things like that could be changed or could be improved. You would maybe dock some points that way. And if somebody went above and beyond and did something that wasn't necessary, they could earn bonus points. And the only time that bonus points would apply would be if there was a tie for points. That's the only time that bonus points would apply. So, yeah. Anyway.
That's a lot.
Hopefully it is. It's, yeah. Yeah.
Now, who would you say in the class that you judged was, like, the most personable contestant? Do you know what I mean? Like, you always have, like, the contestants with the coolest trucks and, the winners, obviously, but there's always that one person that always, in my mind, at truck shows that stands out to me because of who they were. Like, for instance, and this is going to be funny because of who it was, but Keystone this year was Larry Van Landingham because of him and his stubby hand. I don't know. He had cut his fingertip, and so he had a bandage. I forget, Steve, what was he doing that he cut his finger?
I didn't find that out until about a week ago. I had no idea that even happened.
Yeah.
And so there's a reason I found out, but I won't get into that now. But
yeah, he cut his finger. So whenever they did the picture with all of us, he was like this, doing the stabby wave, And so him and his wife, I actually had a run-in with her prior to him getting his trophy, so this is the other reason it stands out, and this is actually going to be hilarious since you both are dads. So at our FleetPride booth, I had lollipops for kids, and I had stickers that had the FleetPride logo and that said future trucker in training on them, and I was handing them out to all the kids, and I had all the guys handing them out to kids, all our record drivers walking around handing them out to kids. Even the older gentlemen that you knew were drivers, they were getting them too. It was pretty cool to see the older guys walking around with their Hawaiian shirts on. That one tall guy, he wore it very proudly. I loved it. And he had a truck there, so he was already a trucker, but it was great. But I was in the bathroom, and there was a little girl in there, and my son, obviously you heard, he's 3, so we were going through the potty training stage, and there was a lady in there talking to a little girl, probably around my son's age at the time, talking about potty training, which the little monster's running out of steps again. So, she's like, why don't you just try? And she said, no, I don't want to. And I said, well, I have lollipops at the stand, not trying to be weird or anything. If you want, right? Like, I got lollipops you can give her. So, she ended up coming to the stand for lollipops afterwards. So, yes, that ended up being Larry's wife. And then he got a trophy, and we did the Stobby Wave, and it just stuck out. And obviously, his truck stands out even more. The green and white cab over, like, it just stands out. Like, it's amazing. And I'll see if you need to drop that picture, because it's actually on our T-shirt this year for, next year's show. So it's awesome. So that being said, going back to my ADHD point here, squirrel move is, what contestant there do you think stood out to you the most because of how personable they were?
That's a great question. In my class specifically, I don't know if the individual that had maybe the best presentation or the best personality, if you would say it that way, maybe necessarily got first, second, or third. I don't know if I want to name names and actually talk about individuals, why they scored a certain way. Just for the reason that when we're scoring as judges, the folks that are competing, they know who the judges are. I mean, we're wearing white shirts that say judge on them, and it's really obvious who it is and what we're there to do. But we don't put our names on our score sheets, and then when we're finished, it's just our judge number. And then at the end of the day, all those individuals get their score sheets back, so the competitors can know what it is they did well and what it is that they could improve on for next year and things like that. So the individuals that really stuck out and had a fantastic presentation and personality, went above and beyond, and you could tell that they put a lot of work into it. And maybe they didn't rack up as many points in other areas, just because their truck maybe wasn't up to the same standard that the other trucks had. So I don't know if that answers your question. I'm answering it without actually answering. Well, I'm not gonna say an individual's name, but there was a couple of them that did they did their homework. Like, you could tell it was presented excellently, but they didn't have a truck that was maybe in the top 3 to be able to actually get a trophy that year. But yeah, so that's definitely a big part of it, though. Like we kept saying to some of these guys, these are free points. This is an easy way to get a perfect score, is if you do your homework, preparing ahead of time, and we don't have to mark you down for anything. Let me give you another quick example. Is if you were allowed 10 minutes to give your presentation and you only used up 8 of those minutes, you were actually docked because you didn't use the full time. Same way, if you went overtime, if you talked for 10 minutes and 30 seconds, you were docked points as well. And so you could actually have another team member on your crew that could follow you around and could tell you when your time's about up, so that you would get it within that little 30-second window
but I couldn't
of
send
time.
time on my phone.
You certainly could. Yep. So
okay.
If you were given the presentation, you could do that. But Evan had that really very, very clear to all the competitors. They knew ahead of time what to be prepared for. So it wasn't like anybody was just showing up and saying, oh, I didn't know. Mm-hmm. They were told beforehand, and that was, maybe, if I could be really blunt, there was a couple guys that I was surprised that they didn't put more effort into being prepared, and that I wish they would have, because maybe the top 8 trucks showed up and they busted their butts, and 2 or 3 guys we were actually kind of surprised to say, oh wow, we thought that maybe because they were asked to be here they would have done that, and they didn't. And it was kind of a surprise. Some eyebrows were raised in some areas that we all kind of went, oh, didn't see that coming. Okay, well, we maybe don't want to mark this down, but we have to take some points off for that. And it was a little bit of a surprise. But yeah. So I think the lesson learned on that one is if you knew beforehand what the assignment was and you showed up and you didn't do your homework, well, you can't walk away with 100% score. So
I don't think there was extra credit there.
Yep. I was known as one of the judges that was maybe a little bit tougher judge as well. I was surprised. I thought maybe I'd be giving out way too many great scores and making everybody smile at the end of the day. And turns out I was I was one of the judges that was little more stingy with points, I guess. We found out afterwards, after it's all over. Yeah, found out like Philip, you're kind of a tough judge. Sorry. Not meaning to be. I mean, I showed a working class truck for a number of years, so I know what it takes to get a truck, filthy. That's actually one of the things that I thought was kind of neat is we have seen almost every one of these trucks on social media. We either saw them being built or we follow the driver on Facebook and Instagram, and we have seen these trucks buried up to their axles in mud sometimes, driving through snowstorms, or getting in a wreck and having to get fixed up or get prepared for the next event. And so it gives us an appreciation of really what it takes to show a truck like this, when it's having to be out there actually getting rock chips and bug guts and they get beat up out there. And
hitting
so
deer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hitting deer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. I think it was actually the Skillix truck in the limited mileage class. They had some damage and they were just unhooking their trailer right there at the show. And I think the pin came down on their deck plate. I think I heard about that. I didn't see it. And that wasn't the class that I was in, but I heard stories of it later that the guys were kind of in a quick scramble, like, oh no, what do we do? I guess we're going to put a sticker over the scratch in the deck plate. That's all we can do. So they put a Skillix sticker right there in the middle of the deck plate. Thankfully, it was pretty much centered. But the driver mentioned it during his presentation in the 10 minutes and explained to all the judges that were there, this is what happened, and that's why there's a sticker in the middle of my deck plate. We weren't planning on that, but that's what happened. And he didn't get docked any points because the sticker was there or for the scratch because he explained why. And all the judges said, oh, yeah, that's understandable. That just happened 5 hours ago. We get it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, whenever Braden showed up, I was talking about doing the video and pictures of his truck, and he's like, don't do it, I just hit a deer. The whole side of his bumper is just... I was like, I'm trying not to get that in. We'll make it shiny or something that you can't tell. It's fine.
Yeah. Yep.
There's just some things just happen.
There's some things. Yep. There are things that are unavoidable. Yep. Mm-hmm. There really are. And I'll say this too, that there wasn't any truck that was in the working class that got points taken away for things that happen as part of being a working class truck. Like I mentioned, rock chips and bug guts and things like that. They're a normal part of, a working class truck. But if it's excessive and they didn't even wipe it off or they didn't even try to get that stack clean on the one side, well, that does count against them. So cleanliness is important, but it's even more critical on a truck that has limited mileage that got trailered there or something like that. So... yeah. So it's a different kind of a thing going from limited mileage to working class. It's different scale. And, their points go from 1 to 10 in the working class, and they go 1 to 20 on the limited mileage trucks. So they can really, really have a lot finer.
No, that would be, especially this year. Oh my gosh, there was some.
Mm-hmm.
What are your plans for the coming holidays and just getting through winter?
Plans for the holidays. Well, both my parents on my side and my wife's, they don't live too far away, and so we're going to be able to stay right here in southern Minnesota and see both sides of the family. And my oldest son and his wife don't live far away either. They're about 45 minutes away from us. And then my second son, he's a Marine, and he's gonna be away for his first Christmas. We're gonna miss him. So he's still stateside, but he's gonna have to sit this one out and just stay on base this Christmas. So that's a bummer, but we're sending him some boxes down on base, and he's already decorated his dorm room, so he's got tinsel and lights and stuff like that, and he's getting together with some other Marines on his base for the holidays. Yeah. So yeah, how about you, Mariah? What are your plans?
Same family. I have 2 younger kids, 3-year-old and 8-year-old. So Christmas is huge. Elf on the shelf life over here, rocking and rolling. We really just try to get to go see Santa. Normally it's about 3 times a year. 3 times within a week we go see him. They kind of wonder how he's at 3 different spots at one time. We make it work. The tree, obviously, you see in the background. I thought that was a good background for this. They actually just did themselves, so there's stuff everywhere. So my momness is kind of going crazy, but we're just gonna let it be. But yeah, family's big here around us, so we're gonna do the whole family bit. I got work the day after Christmas. There's not many road calls, knock on some type of wood, the day after Christmas, because a lot of people aren't running. But now that I just said that, we do a lot of Amazon work, so stop ordering Amazon, please, for right now. But yeah, no, other than that, it's just family. And to finish up my shopping, I'm procrastinating horribly on that this year. Big time.
Yeah.
You guys have wives to do that for you, so.
I do.
Not ashamed there, Phil.
Yep, absolutely. I have a wife and a daughter that handle all that, so I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Yep. I'm blessed. Yep.
Yeah. I already know Michelle for you, Steve. She's already got you covered, probably. You guys are probably done. Yeah.
I think so. No, we're doing the same thing here. Although we go to Michelle's family's house and to my family's house on Christmas Eve in Virginia. So it's like 5 hours driving throughout the whole day and kind of race around. That way we can be here for Christmas morning and not have to go anywhere on Christmas Day. So that's the important thing to me. Got to be home for Christmas.
Gotta be home for Christmas, yep.
I'm with you.
I was actually thinking, Steve, too, with doing the day after Christmas at work, if offering out, if there was drivers in the local area, to come on over to the shop for a meal, a free Christmas meal. I don't know if that's something that would be big or around the area. There's not many people that like to come east during this weather time.
No.
But
put it out there for sure.
Yeah, we'll do some type of meal. We always do the day after Christmas. Everyone does a potluck, so we kind of, if there's drivers that do pop in, we do hand out meals.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, we'll check our my social media and Mariah's, and we'll do a whole thing at the end here where we can shamelessly plug all our social media pages, and we'll have all the info on that on there for sure.
Right on. That's a cool idea, Mariah. I like that.
Yeah, we try to get involved a lot with, one, community is a big part that we do a lot of, and then 2, we're just getting out there for people that don't have much to go home to, especially drivers being what we do in heavy duty. So it tends to, if we have extra food already, because we do free lunch Fridays, well, it tends to be any day of a week, but we do a lot of lunches for everyone, whether it be the guys bringing stuff in or us ordering pizza or whatever. But if there's extras, I always ask drivers, hey, you want any? Or, you hungry? You want to come eat real quick while you wait on something to get done, whatever. Or if you're going to a hotel because your truck broke down, hey, you want to take a box? Because we have to-go boxes, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's cool.
Would you like some food to take over to the hotel?
Yeah.
So we try to be more understanding than most.
Well, one thing I want to put out there is we're always looking for content for YouTube. So Mariah has a shop available that we can pull trucks in to get out of the cold, and we can do interviews with owners and do like a video feature on the truck. So if there's anybody out there in the Carlisle area or even the
Rolling through
surrounding area,
PA.
Eastern Pennsylvania, yeah, if you're in Eastern Pennsylvania, get a hold of me, and we can try and line that up and get some interviews and kind of showcase your truck. So
Yeah.
we'd
Right
love
on.
to get that
Yeah, we
rolling.
have it is heated. Heated. I know a lot of people don't like to do the East Coast thing right now, but it is a heated shop. FleetPride in Carlisle Service Center. It's down a road that says no trucks. Don't believe it. That sign's the devil. We're well before the 12-foot bridge. Don't believe the signs. I promise. I'm before it. We got 16 bays. I got some full pull-throughs, so you can just pull the truck and trailer right on in there. Just make sure I have the full pull-through available, so please call me ahead of time so we can make sure whatever's in one bay is out or moved or whatever. I'm sure the guys will love that.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a truck wash nearby?
Yeah, actually the Blue Beacon is nearby. We also have a washout, which is the Bull Wash at I-81. I believe that's exit 29 washout. Tiffany Jones be the one to hit up on that. She's there. But there's a washout there. The Blue Beacon's at exit 52 on 81, and I'm right at exit 44. I have a pressure washer too in the shop, but we're technically not supposed to have a washout bay.
All right.
Okay.
A warm shop with truck wash nearby, and then you can get an interview and get featured all
I'll
in one
order
shot
food.
right there.
Oh,
Yeah,
some
get
food.
some dinner. Man, that's a huge opportunity right there. You're gonna have trucks lined up all the way underneath that underpass,
We need
just
to-
waiting to get in.
Don't go the bridgeway though. You'll can it. It's happened
Yep.
so many times. Steve, you might want to drop some pictures in there from the Carlisle Sentinel pages from people tuna canning that bridge. In 1 month, Phil, no lie. Steve, I don't know how many times if you've ever seen this, but that bridge at Dickinson College right there, I believe in 1 month it got hit like 8 times. And it literally takes the roof right off.
Oh man,
Can you imagine a reefer hitting that? I seen foam
Yikes.
flying everywhere. So bad.
man,
So
Man, oh,
bad.
man.
But yeah, that thing, it's been on the news plenty of times. Pretty sure Penn Live will have something, Steve, on there if you want to drop some pictures of that, because that thing's wild. But yeah, don't go the bridgeway. Call me or message for directions. I'll tell you the right way to go.
Yeah.
Without destroying anything.
Solid copy on that call first. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Mariah, are you going to M.A.T.S this year?
I am, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe you go, Steve, Phil's the one that you said gets the house with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He splits out. I'm going to look for a little bit bigger a house.
I told you didn't have to. I can find something if you need to.
I know, but if
I know
we can
people that
all-
live in
Right
that
on.
area. I think my dad goes too. My dad actually, Phil is, I think Steve, I've already told you this. My dad's the director of sales for Werner. So he
cool.
goes too. That's one of the things, that and TMC he goes to. So I was talking to him. That's also my birthday weekend. So I was already took off like a whole entire week to go. So I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that exciting to turn 35, but I needed to get away for my birthday anyways. So,
on.
I did already take off, but yes, you don't feel obligated. I mean, I'll be more than happy to chip in and stay with you guys, but don't feel like it's something you have to do if you always get the same place.
I'll see what
I have air mattresses.
Yeah, I surf an air mattress every time. It works great. Yeah,
See?
I'll stay in the garage. I don't care. Yeah, whatever. It's just, it's a great time. And I love that you guys
Yeah.
don't stay up till like 3 a.m. getting drunk and stuff like that. Like people actually sleep.
No,
So
no.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. You're not a party crowd, so yeah, fit right in.
Nothing like that. We did. We actually moved our booth. I should have the booth number in front of me, but I don't. But we did move our booth this year. A lot of people approached me after 2025, saying they couldn't find us, which I understand. We were literally in the back alley behind the Walmart.
Yep.
The Walmart put up a big giant inflatable sign right in front of our booth. So you literally could
The
not.
big blue wall. Yep.
Yeah, we had a big blue wall in front of us. So wanted to get away from that. So we're over by the food court this year, which I think should be an improvement. We got a corner booth. So
Perfect.
in the next podcast, I will put up the our booth number so everybody knows. But just go towards the food. That generally works good for a booth location. So being close to food is good.
Yes.
So
Cool.
we made that move, and I'm looking forward to it. Mid-America is always a good time.
Oh, yeah.
I love seeing all the people there and just meeting new people and all the dinners, and the trucks are cool, but the people are a lot cooler for me at
Yeah.
Mid-America. So,
Yep. I agree. It's always like a family reunion. You know, there's some folks that you only get to see them at M.A.T.S. And
exactly.
yeah, I love it. Every year I go, I like it even more than last year, and it just gets better and better and better.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Awesome.
This will be, let me see, 90,000, like, I don't know, 30 years going? Yeah, right around there.
Man, that's cool.
Going for a long time.
Love
I
it.
was like 5 whenever you started, Steve.
1990 would have been my first year I went.
Oh yeah, I wasn't born yet.
I got my first new pickup, and that's where I wanted to go. So,
What was your
Right on.
first pickup?
89 F-150.
Solid
8.6,
choice.
5-speed, fun truck.
Yes, sir. Yep.
It's a great truck. Met a lot of people with that truck. Got all over the country. So,
Love it. I drive a
love it.
95 that sounds really similar. That's my winter truck.
really,
Yep.
my
Yep,
my
straight
show
six.
truck was my show truck was a 95.
Yeah?
I
Ah.
think I showed you pictures of that before.
Yeah. Was it low?
Oh yeah, it was on bad.
You dropped it? Yeah. Okay.
Bad.
Yep. I remember that.
20s and stainless, courtesy of Profab in the bed of the truck, and just
Yeah.
out show truck. It was a good time, but that was a 95.
Right on.
Is there possibly some type of app, Steve, that we could look into that would, of how you said people couldn't locate you, like to have, like say, Phil, you do pinstriping while they're at a booth, correct? At the booth?
Yes. Yep. I do it right there in the LargeCar booth. You bet. Yep.
So like to say like Phil's quote unquote clocked in or at the booth, is there a way that like we could do an app for, I don't want to say GPS tracking, or like I'm out moving around? Because people do say that you need to tie a balloon to me whenever I am moving around. Because I bounce around so much, it's hard to find me.
We need a cat bell on you.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know that you want that.
No, but you can turn it on and turn it off. Do you know what I mean? Like turn on, turn off.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to the bathroom, I'm turning it off. If
Sure.
I'm eating, I'm turning it off. But
Yeah.
I mean, like if if Phil's working, you turn it on. Just say like, here, if you're at M.A.T.S, go onto the LargeCar Mag app or whatever and log in and see where we're at.
Well, one thing we could do a better job of would be to update the socials when Philip is in the booth doing the pinstriping. And I'm sure
That could be a total contest itself. Is where's Mariah? Like where's Waldo?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You ever go to those parties where
Right.
there's like that drunk girl that likes to adventure? No one can ever find. And adventure's too far. That's me all the time. Sober.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, you haven't been to Mid-America yet, have you?
No. So I'm
my.
super excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna need a hot air balloon to tie onto me.
You're gonna be. There's not enough minutes in the show hours to get everything done. at
No.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do, so much you want to do, and there's just no time to do it. By the end of the show, you're like, what happened? Like, what,
Yeah.
it seems like the show just started. So
Yeah.
it's insane how busy it is. And you're, Philip, you are a, what is that called? Is it social media?
Yeah, so I'm an ambassador for Mid America Truck and Show, and what that basically means is that I help promote the show leading up to it, and then I make a couple appearances and film some video and some content for them at M.A.T.S, just to help show what it does and try and build as much hype as I can and bring people in for contests that Mid America Truck and Show puts on, where people can win all expenses paid weekend there. So they'll pay for a hotel, $500 spending cash, and VIP passes to be able to get anywhere in the show, and even parking is included in that. So but being an ambassador just means that you are doing your absolute best to present the show in a positive way to the public and get as many people that will sign up under your link. So as an ambassador, I have my own personal link that I try and get everybody to go and click on, and then that's how they sign up, is under my name, and then that shows Mid-America how many people have signed up under my name, if that makes sense. So it's not really a contest, but it's more of a way that they can just track how many people is Philip bringing into the Mid-America Truck and Shows, that I can kind of prove that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So that's what I do on social for a couple months leading up to it, is get as many people to click on that link and sign up for Mid-America beforehand. And so you can actually sign up right now. We're recording in December, and you can click on it and you can register for M.A.T.S free right now. But as time gets closer, you have to start paying money in order to register. So that's kind of the advantage by signing up early, is that you pay nothing or you pay less. But if you wait until the final week, you're going to have an entry fee to get in. So,
Yeah. And
So-
that all expense paid trip that they give away is a huge thing, because between the hotels and food and everything, it's an expensive trip. So
Yeah.
that is a prize well worth winning. That's for sure.
It sure is. It sure is. And, ideally everybody can use the trip to M.A.T.S as a write-off, or, write off part of it, or get yourself a load somewhere nearby to Louisville. But loads are hard to come by that week or the week leading up to M.A.T.S to get you close by. So that free VIP pass that gets you into anything. And so definitely want to check that out. And if anybody wants to go find that, it's on all my social media stuff, on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook. I try and keep those links out there so everybody can find them really easy. So
I feel like that should be one of M.A.T.'s contests, is where's Mariah?
It's easy. It's easy to get lost at
easy.
M.A.T.S. Yeah. If it's your first year, you're going to want to have a map with you at all times.
And get sidetracked and never make it to where you initially were heading to.
I feel like you already know me so well, Steve.
Oh my gosh, that's because I do that.
Yeah.
I sent Steve a picture too. I was like, hey, this is at the top of my Christmas list, and it's a little 50 gasser little dirt bike motorcycle thing, little gas bike. I was like, I'm gonna get this for M.A.T.S.
There you go.
Those little Coleman little gasser bikes. That's what I'm gonna get for M.A.T.S. and just take it along in the bed of my truck. He's like, electric scooter's fine. I was like, nope, I already got one of those. I want this.
There's guys that do ride around on Segways and stuff in there too. So
there is.
Isn't a
I'm
bad
excited.
idea.
Yeah, there's more than once where I have somewhere that I need to be at the show or outside, and I have to get on the opposite corner, and I have 15 minutes to get there, but I get stopped every 2-3 minutes, because people just want to talk, they want to visit, and you just can't get there. So you have to anticipate, all right, I need to be at such and such a booth at 1:30, then I need to leave where I'm at noon, because it's going to take me that long to get over there. So busy place, but it's part of the fun, right?
It is, absolutely.
Stopping, chatting with people, taking selfies, and just having conversations. it's all about the networking. You know,
Yep.
I just got back from one of those weekends just now, and I was in Indianapolis just before they got big snowstorm down there. So, yeah, trade shows, man, they're a blast. It's
They
fun.
are. I do want to say to all the people that subscribe to my YouTube channel, so sorry there's been no truck spotting in Walcott from fall of 25. If you didn't know, I got hit by a car on the way there, well, all the way there into a few shows. So that got canceled, of course. But I may be going in January to do some filming in the cold again. So you may see that coming. Going to continue to do truck spotting in the 717. I'm going to try and go to some new places, try and get some new scenery, different trucks. So we will have that coming in the next coming weeks. You got anything coming up, Philip? Anything special on your channel?
A lot of what I do this time of year is indoor projects, art projects. I've got just some pinstriping or lettering that I'll be doing for individuals that way. I also try and schedule some interviews with guys in their own personal shops around Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin. I haven't gotten out to the Dakotas in a while, but I'd like to. So kind of in my area, I love to go into guys' shops and get a tour of their shop, and then we could do a truck interview right there at their farm or wherever we're at. And that works really well because a lot of guys like to park their trucks clean and detailed and ready to go for springtime again. And so if they're not having to be out there working the truck, we can tour the shop. Some of these facilities, like for example, maybe IMT Transport down in Garner, Iowa, that's an amazing shop, and they always have some large cars down there. Just the A models, and just it's awesome. So that's on my to-do list. I haven't recorded them yet, but that's some things that I have coming up on my personal YouTube channel, also on the Peace and Grease podcast that I'm a part of. We have some documentaries that we're filming right now. So here, what's the date? Yeah, in about a week, we're going to be filming a documentary that is more automotive related, but there's a lot of guys that really enjoy trucker content as well as hot rods and car stuff. So always doing that. A lot of the stuff on my channel is blue collar lifestyle stuff. It's just me, and whatever I happen to be doing that weekend. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what my channel is all about. So yep.
That's very cool.
Thanks.
So, where can everybody find you, Philip? Go ahead and throw out your all your social media
Okay.
pages.
Sure. I spend the majority of my time daily on Instagram. And so that's the best place to find me is at Flannel, just like the flannel shirt that you're wearing, Flannel_Philip. So at Flannel_Philip on Instagram. That account is linked up with Facebook. I don't spend a lot of my time on Facebook. It double posts everything for me over there, but I don't read the comments on Facebook. These days, I pretty much just use Facebook for Marketplace. That's about it. So I'll pop in once in a while if I'm going to promote something. Otherwise, Marketplace is about the only reason I go over to Facebook anymore. Otherwise, my YouTube channel is the same name. It's Flannel Phillip, and it's pretty easy to find over there. As far as I know, I'm the only guy named Flannel Phillip on YouTube, unless there's some imposter out there that's pretending to be me. That has happened on some of the other social media stuff where I have people that are double posting my own content and pretending to be me. But yeah, so look for the blue check marks, and that's the legit one. It's Flannel Phillip over there. I do once in a while pop over on X and a couple other smaller platforms, but I am not on TikTok. I have a bunch of friends that are on TikTok, and I've heard that my content is on TikTok, but I don't even have a TikTok account, so I'm not over there. But Instagram and YouTube, that's where I'm at. So
Okay. Yeah, I am the opposite of you. So I have
Okay.
Instagram. I do get on Instagram and look and check check things over, but mostly I'm on Facebook, and you can find me at LargeCar Mag Steve, or just LargeCar Mag is our primary channel. And my Instagram, same thing, LargeCar Mag. Um, I am on TikTok if you want to. I haven't put anything on there in months, but we do have people follow us over there too, so you can check that out. And the YouTube channel is LargeCar Mag, so um, check us out on all those social media platforms. So, Mariah, where can people find you?
I'm pretty new to this game here. I think my social media actually like really blew up after Randy had made the post on the Keystone Large Car Mag page for the truck show. So I actually do have access into the Keystone Large Car Mag page as well as the Instagram for there, which I had made the new one this year. And mainly I use Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat's a big one that seems to really blow up. I'm not sure about why or how, but it does. So that one's huge. So if you just search my name, Mariah Painter, for now, I guess. I don't know if I should make something else, Steve. I'm going to kind of lean on you guys for that one because you both are the influencers here. I don't know. I have no idea. But, yeah, and then TikTok, too, is a big one, I guess, now. I've done some videos there from Atlanta too that have really blown up. The biggest one actually is of Oz's in Hanover at a little benefit show that I did. It has a little voiceover on it that's pretty funny. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, Philip, you said you're on X. Is there a lot of content for what we do on X, or is it mostly political stuff?
It's a lot of political stuff over there. I have found some content that seems to be more automotive related, and some of it has gotten so influenced by AI that I kind of cruise over there just to see what's happening. But I actually haven't posted anything over there in maybe a month. So I wanted to like have a presence on there, and I kind of wanted to claim my handle, but that was mainly my motivation in doing that, is that so somebody else wouldn't get on there and use my name was more than anything. But yeah, a lot of it's political, and I haven't found a whole lot of heavy truck content other than I know there's some individuals that are using it as a repost. I haven't figured out how to link all my different accounts on social media together so that I can just make one post. But I can tell people are double posting stuff over there and just kind of recycled content, if that makes sense. So that's what I've noticed. But
I'm going to throw a shameless plug in here. If you're Christmas shopping, go out and get yourself
there it is.
Large Car Mag.
26 Large Car Mag calendar. It is
that Walker's on there on the front?
Yeah, Chad Walker's on the front.
Yep.
And here, I'll even throw this up there as a little teaser for anybody that hasn't seen this, because this isn't even on the back cover, but there is another shot of Chad's truck within the calendar, and it's, 12 months of cool trucks. It's $15 shipped, so it's probably the cheapest calendar you can buy, and I think one of the highest quality calendars out there. So, go to largecarmag.com/store and get yourself one. And we have 8 shirt designs, at least, I think, to choose from right now. We're working on having between 15 and 20. Hopefully before Christmas we'll have that many. We're going to start reprinting, as long as this works out. I'm probably a little premature in this, but we're trying to start printing shirts from as far back as 2004. So we will have designs from 2004 all the way up to 2025, if we can find all the designs we've done over the years. But we definitely have 04, 05, 06. So it's going to be some pretty cool stuff that you're going to be able to get. It's going to be online only.
Yeah.
You'll be able to purchase some really cool shirts that haven't been seen in 20 years. So
is that called vintage now? Or classic?
I guess.
Antique.
So.
Yeah.
Around at shows and shirts that were from 05 that are still in good shape. And I
right
gotta
on.
stop them and say, that is an old shirt.
Yeah.
I'm glad you still got it. So I actually, not that anybody collects our shirts, but if you do, I think we're going to put a different front logo on the repops that we're going to do so that they're different than what they were, 20 years ago. So
There you
the
go.
ones from 20 years ago are still unique, and if
Yep.
anybody out there still has them, because most people buy them and wear them and they truck in them and they get destroyed. So
That's true. Yep. How many of my shirts started out as a good T-shirt, and then it turned into a work shirt, and then it's got welding holes burned in it and grease stains, and there's crumbs, and yeah. So
yeah,
that's what happens to every one of my shirts. Yeah. So if you let's say this right here right now, if somebody shows up with the oldest LargeCar Mag T-shirt at M.A.T.S, we'll give you a free one to replace it, but you got to show up wearing it. You can't just be carrying it. Oldest T-shirt wins at M.A.T.S. You got to show up with your vintage LargeCar Mag T-shirt.
I'll throw in a calendar. I'll cover that, Steve.
There you go. All right.
How often should we do these, Phil?
Do one a month if you wanted to, but if that's not enough, we could definitely bump it up a little bit. But yeah.
Tell us in the comments if there's stuff that you want to see us talk about. We can do that. And I am actually on time for the next print issue for the first time in 2 months, or 2 issues. So we can talk about what's in that.
Yeah.
Probably be a few weeks from now that we talk about that. I don't want to give anything away yet, but we can bring guests on once we get pretty good at this software. We can bring guests on and we can talk to them. The guys that are featured in the magazine, if they're willing to come on the podcast. A lot of guys are shy and don't want to be on camera, but
I get that.
I will tease this, the Days Gone By section, for anybody that likes, and I know a lot of you do, because a lot of you come and tell me that that's your favorite section of the magazine. The next one is going to be absolutely awesome. People are going to love it. So there's a little teaser for you.
Good deal.
So.
Yeah, I love it. I understand some people not wanting to be on camera, and they get shy and things like that. I see it all the time too when I do interviews. But if somebody can be a part of a Skype phone call, and they can talk to their niece or their grandkids, or their wife at the grocery store, you can be on a podcast.
For sure. Yeah.
We'll just ask you questions, and you can talk about yourself, and you can talk about your favorite truck, which is your own truck. And so it's pretty easy. I'm going to try and help you guys out a little bit. I'm going to ask you some really leading questions. And if you come on as a guest, all you need to do is just run with it. We'll lay the mat out there, and you just keep on talking, and we can edit it shorter if we need to. But the tougher interviews are the guys that don't want to talk. So we'd rather get some guys that are real chatty right here on the podcast.
Absolutely.
And the whole idea behind being a trucking podcast for truckers is that you guys are going down the road, and you need some things to listen to. Yeah, but I think it'd be great to get some individuals on and do some interviews right here on the pod. I think that would be awesome. We could get some advertisers or whatever. There's all kinds of different routes we could go.
And in the future, when we're going to do truck shows we're going to attend, we can get the show promoter or the person that runs the show to come on and talk about it. Also, look for us walking around with a camera at Mid-America, because we're going to have Mariah doing some interviews there. So,
May have a balloon tied to me or two.
Well, we'll get some practice interviews done beforehand. Let's try and we will get together next week and come up with some things to talk about. And like I said, all you guys watching, put down in the comments what you want us to talk about, and we will hit on those subjects for sure. So, thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
See ya.